Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. Special live call-in show Saturday 3:30. I don't know if I'm going up against college football. Haven't been following college football. All we bet is the NFL. Let's get this money. I'm really excited about it. I'm going to get to the questions first. I'll start with a light question first. Greg on Patreon asks, Lawson, how he says, Lawson, how is your blood pressure in reality? Are you like this all the time, or are you just like this when the camera comes on? Greg, I've always been kind of a dramatic person. I wouldn't say like I'm a sensationalist by any means, but I'm a dramatic person. And also I have a lot of passion for NFL. Started watching NFL when I was 5 years old. I absolutely loved the game. I never really fell out of love with it. So I've always loved the game. As for the high blood pressure, I'm sure the vaping isn't helping. Also, my eating habits probably aren't the best right now. But also, I've been trying to stay more even keeled because it's good to have passion. It's good to be eccentric, but in day life, it really doesn't benefit me. So I've been just trying to keep the heart rate down. I'm not trying to expend energy on stuff that makes me mad, because I was getting to a point, bro, for like the last 2 years, I'll like bitch people out in this street just for no reason. And that's not necessary. That's like a me problem. Most of the time, no one like violated my space or anything like that. In Brazil, they do violate my space, but everyone violates people's space here. So I just deal with it, and I try not to get mad about little things or get mad about like bureaucracy. I just come on here, and that's when I do my adrenaline dump. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to stay like low heart rate for this like everyday stuff you all have to do, and then just go pure adrenaline dump. Once I get on camera and get the videos. And yo, what's up, Tasha? What's up, Daryl? How you doing, man? Let's get this money, Daryl. What's up, Tico? Let's get this money. Zamora's in here. Rain final. Okay, super chat from Zamora. Appreciate it, bro. New Orleans -5.5. Yeah, I was flirting with that. I do like New Orleans. Atlanta +2.5. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with it. Cincinnati +1.5. I got San Fran winning that game, but that game is a toss-up. That's a pure coin flip for me. Los Angeles like it. Washington football team +5. You must have got that earlier in the week, or did it push up? I saw it was at 4 on some places, 4.5 on some other books. Yeah, I like that. The only one I would cross out is Cincy, and then Tampa Bay. That's a game a lot of people are talking about. Yeah, dude, you're 100% right. I just listen, if I just go on like a walk and eat a little bit better and don't eat like crazy stuff like sweets or like chocolate, I do feel better, man. I do feel better. What's up, Jarrett and Tasha? I get you. Bet in Atlanta, man. That's it's degenerate stuff. It really is degenerate stuff, but sometimes we need stuff to bet. What's up, Anthony? Let's get this money. Let's go. All right, I'm going to get to the Patreon questions. I wanted to get one guy's question up here since he got in early. Okay, this is from Rain Final. How confident are you with KC versus Raiders and Seattle versus Texans? You think they'll cover? DK seems to have leg issues. As for Seattle and the Texans, I don't know if we need to overthink that. When you say Davis Mills, I say bet against them. Now, like, I've been trying to frame the Texans in a different way than other people this whole year. I actually like the way they've been fighting on defense. On their defense, if you just take out their offense, and when their offense is semi-productive, their defense actually plays good, but they need rest, and that's just something you're not going to get with Davis Mills. And it seems like the Texans are in tank mode. So that's why I like Seattle. As for the KC Raiders game, it is a bit risky, though, because it is +9.5, +10. I saw in one book it's down to 9. I don't know if that's where it's going to go moving forward, but that's a lot of points. And last time we had the Chiefs on Patreon against the Raiders, and they blew the Raiders out. I don't think it's going to be that easy this time. I actually think it's going to be more about Mahomes going off. Because this Chiefs defense has been playing awful good, and I've been saying it on here, but come on now, we know the Chiefs defense hasn't solved their problems, but this Raiders offense is bad. That's just one where it's just too many points for me to want to go bet it. It went up to that Washington game went up to 5. Yeah, Kyle, I do think this Bills team is really overrated. Yeah, I'll get to the Bills. I got a ton of questions on Patreon, but yeah, I actually think they're overrated. And there's like a lot of Bills optimism this week, and I get it. Sometimes you want to go contrarian and you need to go against the grain. Sometimes with gambling, but man, have the Bills showed us any signs? Like, has there been any signs of them getting better? I haven't seen it. And guys, let me know in the live chat if my internet's good and the mic, because I wasn't able to bring my mic because I'm in a different city just for this weekend. All right, let's get to the Patreon questions. This is from Jordan. 3-team 10-point teaser with Denver, Chargers, and Packers. How confident are you this will hit? Okay, Denver's at like minus 10.5, minus 10. I'm just doing the math in my head. So that should be Denver pick 'em. Chargers are at minus 9 now, so that should be a pick 'em. Packers are at minus 12.5. Maybe that moved down. I saw it earlier today. Just doing the math in my head. In front of me. That's probably like a 90% chance to hit unless Detroit pulls some shit, but I can't see Detroit pulling it off. I can't. I mean, they got the Vikings last week. I didn't see that one coming, but then again, the Vikings kind of gave that game to them. But credit to Detroit for getting that win. All right, let's get to Felice Nando. Like to see what you think of a two-team parlay on the money line side. Yeah, I mean, I would probably go Tennessee and Seattle if you want to look at me for a parlay. And thank you for the question on Patreon. Tyler Richardson, how do you feel about this parlay? Browns. Okay, let me see what the Browns spread is at. The Browns are minus 2.5, correct? I kind of memorize these spreads. Let me just get confirmation. Okay, they're at minus 3, minus 2.5, depending where you're placing your bet. Okay, Browns. I actually think the Ravens win that game. The Browns are due for something. And the Browns have a really good football team, and the Ravens aren't playing good. But Tyler, my issue with that is Baker Mayfield. Unless you think you're going to see something better out of Baker Mayfield, I'd probably take that one out. Titans, Chiefs. Yeah, dude, I like that one. I like the Titans and Chiefs. I do like them. Like I said, that Chiefs one, it brings up a few questions. You get a little bit nervous about it. Yeah, let's get to it. Let's get to the next question. Okay, Stolly. Thoughts on the Saints giving up 6 to the Jets on the road? Dude, I wanted to bet Saints so bad. It's like, listen, this Jets team's really bad. They've kind of went under the radar this year when we talk about like bad teams, because there's been a ton of bad teams. But man, I don't know, man. It's like, I think this Jets defense is the worst we have in the league. I don't know what the stats say, but I think from the film I've watched, I think they're the worst defense in this league. Now, you've got Taysom Hill. That's a great equalizer. That's not going to give you too much, especially in the pass game. But I think Sean Payton's going to have some things cooked up. I don't see any upset coming from the Jets. I just don't see how they start playing better on offense. Like, I know their defense is going to suck, but Taysom Hill is an equalizer, like I said. But I don't see how the Jets' offense is going to get better. And then if you look at the Jets' injuries, they actually got some critical injuries. And like we were talking, I was talking with a fan in the comment section last night, and we are talking about the Jets defense. And then he was like, yeah, dude, CJ Mosley, is he hurt or something? Because he's not even playing good. Like, that's how bad the defense is. The one good player, CJ Mosley, he can't even get going. And they're maybe the worst tackling team in the league. And you got to think, if the Saints have the willpower, they're going to just pound the living hell out of them. Here we go. Yeah, that Pittsburgh Minnesota game was crazy. That Pittsburgh. Okay. Yo, Lawson, got a read on Cincy, Francis, San Francisco. I would not bet that one, Kraft. I would bet that, my man. But here's the thing. I'm leaning towards San Fran, and there isn't a lot of science there. But I'm leaning towards San Fran. Did the whole video on it, so I don't want to go too in depth on that one. Yeah, and I got a surprise over there. I'm sure most will disagree with me. RTE, why do you think the line is like it is on the 49ers Bengals? It's because Vegas loves the 49ers. Like, it's because there's people in Vegas who are meat and potatoes type people. And when I say that, they talk about offensive line a lot. They talk about running game a lot, and they really rate Shanahan. I mean, it's something this station is guilty of, but the 49ers have also won us a lot of money. So that's like the most consistent thing in this league, offensive line play and running the ball. And then listen, and someone would ask the question on Patreon. I'll get to this question now. What are the most important things you look for when you're betting a spread? Well, I like to look for mismatches, particularly defensive line against offensive line. Secondly, I like to look for quarterback play. And thirdly, I like to look for how is this coach coaching? What is the motivation level of the players? Do they need this game? Do they want this game? Are they going to show up? Are they going to be physical? Are they physical enough? You have to always ask those questions. And then, of course, you could get the wide receivers against corners. Like, this team just sits back in soft cover 3, like Seattle. They don't even play man-to-man. They just sit back and let you dump it underneath. That's kind of what San Fran does. And that might be where they get in trouble against the Bengals if they let Joe in their rhythm. And then people are saying Joe Burrow isn't playing good. No, he actually played pretty good against the Chargers. It's just that offensive line can't block. And that's the thing. When you got a player like Bosa, yes, it's not like a Pat Mahomes. It's not an Aaron Rodgers. It's not a Russell America Wilson. They can't, like, a defensive end can't tilt the game by themselves. Like, a great defensive end's not worth 9 or 10 wins just alone. So with that being said, though, a guy like Bosa, Prime Von Miller, those guys can wreck spreads and wreck games, and they can wreck plans. And that's one thing you always have to look for. I always look for how is an offensive line playing. And I always try to do an inventory on that. When we're betting all 32 teams, we don't shy away. We don't just bet Tampa Bay every week, okay? We don't bet Pittsburgh every week. So we try to go all 32 teams. And one thing I always look at is the offensive line and defensive line matchup. Because if your offensive line doesn't come to ball, you're going to get your ass kicked, no matter how many skilled players you have. This is from Anthony Lara. Do you think Tennessee Jags goes under 45? Wow, this is a tough one, Anthony. Let me think what the score is going to be. Because this is one of the tougher ones, because I was thinking like 30-13, maybe 30-20 if the Titans don't come out good. But Jags have shown they're not capable of getting garbage points. Let me bring up I'm going under. I'll go on. That's what I think is going to happen. And I like trying to be positive about the Jags, but there's just nothing to be positive about now. And I try to stay away from their games. Like, one game I really regret, even though I had a great week that week, it was like when San Fran was on the road to the Jags, and I laid off of it because the Jags do have some pieces, and I really do like their defense, and I think Lawrence is better than what people say. Like, they're trashing Lawrence, but this team's so bad. But did you see what Urban Meyer said today? Did anyone see that? And thank you for the super chat, Anthony. I was looking at what Urban Meyer said today, and what he said was completely right. First of all, he should have been in Marvin Jones' face way earlier this year. When you got a big free agent signing and he can't catch a wide open pass, he has 3 or 4 drops a game, that's a fucking problem. Also, it's easy to blame Urban Meyer, but as you know, a coaching staff all contributes. And so I guess he called out his coaching staff. James Robinson got butt hurt last week. Listen, like, I hate. Thank you. I hate how people overrate players in this league. Honestly, maybe one of the most overrated players in this league is James Robinson, the Jaguars running back. I think no names are a little bit lucky, but were they really lucky when Fitzpatrick got that hip injury preseason? I mean, that wasn't luck. And then they came out and got their ass whooped like the first 6 games. I think they might have sprinkled in 1 or 2 games, but I mean, no names are going to get lucky though because they do the fundamentals right. Yes, they got lucky against the Raiders, but the Raiders need to catch an interception. We all know when we bat the no names, we know Heineke is going to throw 4 or 5 balls up there that can easily be picked. That's just what we're going to get. But I bet Washington for other reasons. They've been at least controlling Heineke a little bit better. They've kept him on the leash and they've ran more power offense. They look like a 1980 offense in the NFL, and that's simply what they need to do. The only thing that worries me about Washington is Logan Thomas's injury. Like, he's been the lifeblood of that offense. Him and McLaurin, man, they get open. It feels like every single play. They're really good, man. Okay. Yeah, I feel like Urban Meyer's pointing the finger too, man. He needs to take more blame, but receivers need to catch the ball. Urban can't go out there and run routes for people. Yeah, dude, because luck's a thing in sports that like stats geeks don't like. Or and teams that normally had good team chemistry, they tend to get luck. And it's because they fight all game. We see teams give up in this league every week. All right, let me get to some more Patreon questions. Got a lot of them. It's kind of good we're doing it on Saturday. Yeah, Shane, I'm in good form tonight. Shane. Question 1, can you advise I took a value price on Clemson, Georgia, Alabama to win the college football championship. Took the 9-2 odds as William Hill were slow to take down their futures market. What do I do with my €110 investment? Hedge or back another team to cover? I don't know what's going on. I haven't watched any of those games. My bad, Shane. I'm not too into college football. You guys know more about it than me. So I'm not going to try to lecture you on something I don't know about. That's what makes this podcast good, because I know what I'm talking about. And 95% of the time, you guys know what you're talking about. And sometimes there's going to be changes in opinion, and that's just how it is. Okay, this is interesting. Daryl Campbell. According to Wager Talk, this year to date, the NFL unders are hitting 57.1%. Choose wisely. Yeah, and people get on me for leaning towards under more than I lean towards over. I didn't look up that stat. I didn't know that stat existed, but I've always leaned towards under. Those of you who watch those videos throughout the year, you guys know maybe I'm leaning a little bit too hard to under. Yeah. Because it's just, if you have a conservative mind and you think a coach is going to coach conservative, you do lean towards under. Yeah, it is. College football is a hot mess. And I don't know, man. It's just, what is college football at this point? It's just a bunch. There's like 6 teams that can win it, and then they just beat up on teams that don't have chances to beat them. Like, you can't say that about the NFL. Like, you just can't. And that's why I like it. That's why I like betting the Brazilian soccer league, because there's an equilibrium. Okay. And I want an equilibrium. I want to see people go out there and compete. Like, does it really prove anything? Like, okay, like imagine if Matt Cordero Patterson showed up and we build a team together. I'm not even saying Brady or anything. We show up with like them two. We build a team with us on the podcast and we go play a high school football team. We're going to beat their ass. Okay. It's just because we got Cordero Patterson and Matt Ryan. I mean, there's levels to this. And that's the problem with college football. 95% of the pro players, they go to like 16 schools, and then the rest are just trying to get diamonds in the rough. But yeah, we don't need to go on a rant on that. I listen, I like the pageantry of college football, but it's all about the money now. I liked it when it was like old Big East, old SEC. Used to love that stuff. But once they started changing the divisions and started to be all about the money, and then these coaches are slimy as fuck, man. Like every year you'll get excited for the ball games, like, and don't get me wrong, I will watch some college ball games. I just like watching it, man, especially if, like I said, there's two equal teams competing. It's just, it gets slimy when, like, a head coach, he doesn't coach the last two games because he gets another job. It's just kind of lame. And yeah, I'm just not a big fan of money controlling everything. Question two: does the Aaron Rodgers non-vaccination uptake worry you about the Super Bowl pick? Would you have the Patriots as a plan B back? Honestly, at this point, it's either Chiefs or Patriots in the AFC. I've been saying Chiefs all year, so I'm going to just stick to it. But when these winter conditions go down, and then if the Patriots get a game at home, I would not want to bet against them. Just would not want to be a bet against them. And as for the Packers, Shane, I don't think we can go that type of level of paranoia. Like, yes, a little bit of paranoia, a little bit of skepticism. We need that because we have to win bets. And the people who are beating their chest and say 100% chance this spread covers, they're usually the people who will lose their money the fast. There's always a little bit of doubt in this league, and it should be. There should be a healthy doubt, a little bit of paranoia. But when I'm looking at this Packers team, it just has to be their year. If it's not their year this year, when is it going to be? And this Packers defense is actually more physical than years before. That's why I always hated the Packers in years previous and was right about them, because they just weren't a tough enough team. You could run it on them. You could throw it on them. Now they actually got a good secondary. Jair Alexander is healthy. I'm worried about that. I want him healthy for the playoffs. I want Rashawn Gary healthy for the playoffs, and I want Rodgers. Now, you're 100% right with these COVID rules, but I don't think Rodgers is going to catch it again. I just don't think he is. But yeah, I like, and listen, it's going to, if the Packers are against the Buccaneers, there's a question, man, because Tampa Bay is a team you just don't want to mess with. And I don't know if they're going to keep Antonio Brown. I think they will, just because Brady's going to be calling that shot. But if they do keep Antonio Brown after that suspension, that might be the difference. It's just because Tampa Bay has too many dogs. Like, it's just an example of how many dogs Tampa Bay has on offense. Cameron Brate, he could probably start for 15 to 20 teams in this league at tight end. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but I would certainly take him on my Minnesota Vikings and put him in there to start, and he'd probably get 70 catches. He's pretty good. I get you. Like, I think I saw Rodgers choke two times in the playoffs. But the other stuff, I don't know. I think it's more how the team's constructed. Yeah, dude, Lions are just decimated by COVID this week, man. I might actually have to go on Patreon and put Denver on the list. I mean, because Detroit doesn't have a lot of depth already, and now it's just going to get worse. All right, let me get to some questions. Yes, people are asking on Patreon. Yes, I will have a teaser this week. It's going to be a 3-team teaser. I got the first two already. I'm going to post it Sunday morning, so look out for that. It's going to be a 3-team teaser. I'm going hard on it because the Patreon bets, I'm not going hard on any game. I'm spreading it around this week, and this week is a tough week to bet. To be honest, you guys sent me the messages Monday morning. It was going to be a hard week, but I got some good reads on games. So I'm not going to shy away, but I'm also not going to bet what I normally bet, especially after what happened last week. Okay, this is a good question. I'm going to get to the rest of the Patreon questions, but this is a good question from Joe. Lawson, do you think the Rams are the most overrated, overhyped team? Thanks for the question, Joe. Yeah, but that doesn't change my opinion this week. Yeah, they probably are. Especially like how the bandwagon builds. Like they'll sign Von Miller, they'll sign Odell Beckham, and people get really, really excited. Uh, Point A was the Packers game. Everyone thought Rodgers was going to get annihilated every time he stepped back to pass. And, Von Miller is good and whatnot, but, it's not like 2014 or 2012 anymore. This man has had 3 catastrophic injuries in the last, 5, 6, 7 years? Yeah. And people want to hype the Rams because the Stafford thing, I got caught up in that a little bit. Once they got Stafford, I got really excited. But once we got the preseason and training camp, I got a little bit sober about it. And I was just like, all right, bro, like, are they going to be able to run the ball? And that's what this Rams offense is based on, running the ball, play action. And when they're using play action, that's when they're at their best. I mean, it's easy to play action on like the Texans. It's easy to use play action on the Jags, and it's easy to run on those teams too because their defenses are on the field the whole goddamn game. It's just when this Rams team is tested, they tend to wither. And my problem with the Rams is, I've been saying this all year, their first 11 on offense, great. First 11 on defense, great. Really, the only thing they're missing on offense is a running back and another offensive lineman. Their offensive line isn't as good as it used to be. But their depth really sucks. And that's a problem in this COVID era. That's a problem with them adding another week to the regular season. You got to have some young blood, some young energy that can emerge as the season goes on. I mean, that's one thing that I got on Bill Belichick for. The last 3-4 years, man, where has the young blood risen up? Now they finally had a good draft class, and you see the different inmates. The Rams, they don't even participate in the NFL draft. They just do free agency. And this really isn't a league to do free agency. So, I mean, until the Rams start running the ball, yes, they're overrated. They're probably the most overhyped. Cowboys, I've been saying it all year, though. But isn't that kind of a boring answer from me? Never really bought into the Cowboys stuff all year. Even though I was impressed with the run-pass balance early, they've quickly gotten away from that, and their offensive line gets torn up by a good pass rush. Yeah, dude, and that's why yeah, but it doesn't change my opinion about Rams and Arizona. I also think Arizona is a little bit overrated. I think those are probably the 2 most overrated teams in the league. What's up, C-Spill? What's up, Mike? What's up, Brian? Yeah, I want to read Brian's comment. 1 second. Watch out with Giants. Saquon can be the difference. Yeah, Chargers, they've been a little bit better at stopping the run, but Cincinnati's offensive line didn't even show up, and I still think you can pound this Chargers team. Now, are we getting Jake Fromm or Mike Glennon? Have they given us confirmation? Because when I was reading the news earlier today, preparing, no one had confirmation if Mike Glennon passed concussion protocol. So let me know. Yeah, Shane, I'm in Brazil. I had to go to another city, so that's why we had to do it on Saturday. Had to go to another city accuracy. So yeah, we're 2 hours ahead, so it's like 6 o'clock here. So, but everything's good, man. Everything's good. Tico, what do you think about the Panthers -2? I'm on Atlanta. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. It's just we'll get if Mike wants to come on, we'll get him on. So I don't know if he's coming on, so I don't want to say too much about the Panthers Falcons game yet, but I'm just thinking out loud. And normally I'm an emotional guy. I like when something gets shaken up, especially if things aren't working. Like them firing Brady as the offensive coordinator, I liked it. Don't get me wrong. But then I just had to get sober for a second and start thinking, all right, like what difference is this going to make? And Christian McCaffrey, he checked out on this team. Honestly, I think Christian McCaffrey deserves a ton of blame on this team. I don't think he was really ever committed to play this year. And did he even play last year? Yeah, and picking on people like Christian McCaffrey isn't good for views, but I kind of have to say it. When your best player on your squad kind of just ducks out rather easy, it makes me wonder. Now, can't and this is the main thing. I've been saying all year, you can pound Atlanta. Their secondary isn't good. It's not as worse as last year. They were the worst secondary in the league last year, in my opinion. It's not as bad as last. But man, I think Atlanta's going to make more plays. Like, I think Cordell Patterson's the X factor. It's been 10, 11 years in this league. My dad, he always thought Cordell Patterson was going to be a star. And he's normally not wrong about shit like that. He told me Percy Harvin was going to come in and have a monster rookie year with the Vikings when he did it, just to give an example. So that's what I'm saying. Like, we finally found a team after 10, 11 years that knows us how to use Cordero Patterson, and it's just something that works. So, and this Panthers defense, they've fallen off a little bit. They're not forcing the turnovers. Like, I thought the Panthers defense would be forcing 2 or 3 turnovers a game, like they were earlier in the year. It just hasn't happened. And that Miami Dolphins game, it might be like a breaking point for the team. We'll see if they respond. And then the Cam Newton stuff, I don't know if he's going to get protection. And when I'm looking at the Panthers, my biggest problem with them is their offensive line. I just feel like you can get at their offensive line. They don't do anything particularly well. Like, they don't get a good push forward, and they can't even pick up a blitz. And it just makes it hard on a quarterback. And I kind of felt like, listen, we were right about Sam Darnold. Like, I'm not backtracking on that, but I do see why he was so quick to flee that pocket. Yeah, dude, Mike, come on real quick and talk about this game. Yeah. Let me, I want to get through the Patreon questions, but yeah, come on real quick, man. We'll talk about this Panthers game. All right, I'm going to get Mike on real quick. We're going to get these Patreon questions. I'm going to work through them. Don't worry. We got a lot to get through tonight. I want to get Walter on, the guy who won the contest. All right, Mike, I'm going to send you an email right now, my guy. Okay. I named it Panthers with the link, so just go check your email. If you want to come on, let me know. Okay. I read on the site that Brian Flores passed the defensive information they had on Carolina to Dean Pease. Both for yeah, man. But for me, yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what the Panthers do, because you never want to count out Cam Newton, and they obviously need to do it. Yo, dude, you got to come on, man. Did you get my message on Patreon? I got to get you on, man. Go to your Patreon messages and send me your email. You got to go on and flex on people after winning the contest. Oh, bro, I already sent him the money on Cash App. What are you talking about? I already sent him the money. You almost duped me, bro. You're not gonna dupe me. Okay, here we go. And I pay my debts, man. I pay my debts. At least to you guys. All right. Let's get to some more questions while I wait for Michael Mann. Let me reload this. Okay. Let's get to Gabriel Hemmer. Riding with when they come out. Going to sprinkle on a little teaser just to stay entertained. Let's get this money. Okay, Seattle -2.5. I like it. Denver -3. It looks even better now. Chargers -4 should go through. Can someone please tell me on the live chat who's going to play quarterback, though? Packers -6.5. Yeah. We'll see what Packers team turns up. They'll probably go ham. Baltimore +8.5, like it. San Francisco, Cincinnati over 43, like it. Rams, Arizona over 45.5, like it, unless one team doesn't show up. KC, Las Vegas over 42. That's going over 42. Mike Glennon is starting. Okay. It's better than Jake Fromm, but Mike Glennon's really bad. So that's going to be a huge issue. Yeah, but yards, but yeah, but I don't like yard stats because it doesn't really mean anything because it's really more about who's better red zone defense and who forces more turnovers. Like if we counted yards, Matt Stafford and Megatron would have 3 or 4 rings by now. By all the yards they put up. Like, you know how many times the Lions put up 600 yards on the Vikings and they still lost the game? And the Vikings put up like 250 yards. Like, that's why that stuff is a little bit deceiving. Um, yeah. So let me get to some more Patreon questions. Um, Anthony Lara, Lawson. I'm thinking of Cincy money line and Browns money line. Yeah, man. I would stay away from both of those games. Would just stay away from both of those games. Those games are going to be really close. I'm really excited for the Browns Ravens game, but I don't know if I should be because some of the games have been ugly. Yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, let me. Mike87, are you going to start posting teasers? Yes, there will be a teaser up this week. It's going to be three team teaser, Mike. The last few weeks have been amazing for Wong teasers. Hoping the trend continues with some great opportunities. Choose a 3 or 4 team like Tennessee -2.5. Yeah, I like it. Seattle -1. Baltimore +8. KC -3. Atlanta +8.5. Los Angeles Rams +8.5. Denver -3. The problem with those big teasers, someone's not going to show up. So that's the problem. A lot of people had Cincinnati on the teaser last week and they didn't show up, so you don't hit it. That's really the only thing that can stop you on the teaser, dude. I know it hurts. And like it really hurts to be a Lions fan. They do you dirty, man, and it's just it gets really frustrating. Those previous Lions teams were so frustrating because they should have been in the playoffs. They really only made it once during that Megatron Stafford era, right? And they should have been in 3 or 4 times. And they could never fix the offensive line. They would go sign an offensive line free agent every year. Offensive line stays worse. That's just where they're at. All right, Mike. This is from Jack. Hey, Lawson, hope your day is going well, brother. Yeah, it's going well, Jack. Thank you. I see a lot of home teams being the favorites this week with huge playoff implications. Does this scare you? No. But also, I don't know how much home field matters in this day and age. At some places it does, but I think some people let themselves get psyched out about who's home and who's away. Sometimes you have to do it, man. Like for instance, Ralph Wilson Stadium against the Pats, Bills on Monday night. That weather, that scenery, that ambience was more towards the Patriots. It was like a game in Foxborough. I mean, it really was. And then the Bills tried to throw it like 30 plus times, and that game was just forgettable. Luckily, no one bet it. Okay, here we go. Nicholas Purser, Lawson, what do you consider the most important factor when betting against the spread, and how about over under? Over under, I go how I think the flow of the game is going to be and whether there's going to be garbage points in play or not. Those are the 2 things I look for over under. And then the third thing, now that we're like past November 30th, you got to look for weather. The second part of your question, what's the most important factor when betting against the spread? Quarterback matchup and offensive line against the defensive line. Those are the 2 most important things for me. You can overlook a quarterback if the team has a good run game, but you always have to double check the offensive line and double check the offensive line injuries. Like sometimes I let it slide, but sometimes you get in trouble if you let it slide. Like the Bengals' best offensive lineman was out against the Chargers. I think it was going to be a factor because it was the guard, but it was. And when the Chargers are getting 6 sacks a game, you know something's not working up there, for instance. Eldad Honan. What's up, my guy? Eldad Ronan. Hey, Lawson, which teams have the best home advantage? There has to be some stadiums that are louder, fans crazy, weather. Miami because of the humidity. I don't think it's the toughest place to play, but I actually think it's an underrated tough place to play. Ralph Wilson Stadium in the past, but now the Bills don't really run the ball or do anything where they can use it to their advantage. Seattle is tough, but I do think Seattle is a bit overrated. Arrowhead gets really loud, and Arrowhead has surprisingly bad weather. I wouldn't put Arrowhead in the list, though, but I would put it in the top 10. The Viking Stadium and the Superdome are pretty tough to play in, especially the Superdome because it's an older dome stadium. And, dude, that sound gets right on you quick. Let me think of another one. Yeah, I would say those are the toughest place to play, and Foxborough. But Foxborough for other reasons, for the weather. Yo, what's up, Mike? Okay,
hey,
we got.
I think Miami's really hard to play in.
Dude, it is. You sat in the game, dude. You saw how hot it is.
It's first. Yeah, I'm from Jacksonville, and I was dying in that stadium in December. It was like 80 degrees on game day, and I don't know if you've actually been there, but they have the sun shine in and point directly on the other team's sideline, so it's just worse if you're actually on the field. Yeah, Miami's a hard place to play.
It's really tough, and I've been to that stadium a lot of times, and because when I lived in Fort Myers, it was an easy drive there, and Fort Myers, Jacksonville, you're kind of used to the heat, but it was something else there. And normally Miami, I don't view Miami as a hot city because you get nice wind. It's like I would say. I don't want to go crazy, but I would say there's places in Florida way hotter than Miami for me. The middle of Florida.
Yeah, like the Orlando area. To heck with that.
Dude,
you get that dry heat.
Yeah, like Lee County, and then you go, dude. You go. It's bad, man. Okay, Miami is underrated for that, and that's why the Patriots always play bad there. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's get to this game. Atlanta +3 at the Carolina Panthers. What are you looking for?
Yeah, I'll say the Panthers should win. But this is just one of those games where you just got to close your eyes and point to a team, because both of these teams, on their best day, are playoff teams. But, what we've seen from them lately, they easily could be a top 5 pick in the draft. So I'll be honest, I'm probably going to pick the Panthers. If you watch the first game that we played them, the Panthers absolutely dominated them. They ran for over 200 yards. The defense shut them down. So I think we should have them here. But like you said, our defense has not looked good the last couple of weeks. I don't know why. I don't know why all of a sudden, now that we actually have a decent quarterback, they've completely checked out. But they haven't been looking good lately. I'm hoping the bye week solves that. And then I think as long as we just run the ball again, we should be fine. The last Atlanta game was the first time in a while our offensive line is actually good. So I'm thinking if Rule just does what he wants, runs the ball, keeps running the ball, then we'll be okay.
Yeah, and that's how you attack Atlanta because they actually got a pretty decent speed rush, but they're so small up front.
Yeah,
but the way your offensive line's playing, I don't even think I don't know if the run game's going to be on play unless Cam gets in there. Are they going to start doing read option with Cam 212? Are they going to go like that?
Well, they've started doing it the last couple of weeks ever since we got Cam. And here's the thing with the O-line. The O-line, when they actually have the right sync and the right combination, they're not bad. But the problem is Rule keeps messing around and putting people at positions where they're not used to playing at, where they're not at their natural spot. Like Dennis Daly, we looked at him during the draft. We both said he's a natural guard, so we put him at left tackle. Brady Christensen, the guy we just drafted as left tackle, we have him at left guard. Pat Elflein is our center. He does things like that just don't make sense. He makes people play out of position, and that's why our offensive line has been bad the last couple weeks. We've seen this year.
Get a push. And it's really irresponsible to take a left guard from college and to put him at left tackle. You even see better teams in this league, more organized teams. They'll take the left tackle and they'll be like, all right, bro, this is too much responsibility. He's going to play left guard this year. It makes a difference. And you're seeing it. No, your point's completely true because I watched the last 3 Carolina games, watched some film. Bro,
I'm sorry.
Simple zone blitzes, the other team sending 4. They drop one defensive lineman, basic stuff. Guy comes, a middle linebacker comes up the A gap, no one touches him. Then any nickel blitz where they rush 5, the nickel corner will just come off the edge.
Comes in completely unblocked. Yeah, it's bad, dude. That's the kind of stuff why I think Joe Brady was fired because this O-line is absolutely lost. There's no communication up front. I'll tell you what, it feels like the Panthers have like a peewee offense. Like the way they call plays and the way they communicate and stuff, it just feels like no one's ready to go. Everyone knows what the Panthers are going to do when they play us. It's a short little, everything's going to be under 10 yards, all check downs, all hook routes, all like flat patterns. There's nothing down the field. There's no play action anymore. And the play action was actually really good for us early in the year. Like, I don't know why we stopped doing that, but I think that played a huge part in why Sam Darnold sucked all of a sudden. And even now with Cam, Cam's a runner. He's made a career on those like deep play action passes, and the Panthers just never run them. It's literally like you would think we're trying to lose sometimes. Like we find things that work and then we get away from it. Like it's
you were running the ball against the Vikings really well, and then somehow Sam Darnold finished the game with like 42 pass attempts. And
yeah,
that's just, dude. No, but you're 100% right about these college offenses because listen, you could go find Baylor's playbook online. You can go find like Florida's playbook online, like literally the exact same thing. There's maybe like 22, 23 plays. And you're supposed to run it fast, so it helps. And you get a wider field in college, as you know, because the hash marks. It just doesn't work in NFL. There's too much speed. You got to have like a 200 plays, dude.
Yeah. What Matt Nagy stinks, but he said that he is like upwards of like 800 plays in this playbook. So that just goes to show. And I don't know, like I think a good indicator of if a team is good or not is like how your trick plays go. Have you noticed that our screens never work? Like ever, like every screen we run, like
bad coaching.
Yeah, like it's pathetic. But
because and I was like people aren't go.
Yeah, and I was all for like I wanted to move on from Joe Brady, but at this point in the year, like we've talked about, it's the scheme that's the problem, and firing coach isn't going to fix that. Like I would have waited till the end of the year to fire him, and then bring in like an actual NFL offensive coordinator who knows what he's doing, not fire him mid-year and just put a random coach in there who's going to implement the same scheme. So
don't you think the emotion though of it will help at least give him a boost, or do you think it's just lame and desperate?
From a morale standpoint, I would hope so because like especially on defense, like there's no life in the team right now. After that Miami game, like there was the fight in the defense is completely just sunken away these last 2 weeks. It feels like, and I'm hoping the bye week helped fix that, but you never know.
Yeah, the bye week's been strange this year, but yeah, man, and this is like a playoff battle. Like, so I think it's going to be a good game, and also like anything else you got. For me, man, Atlanta, you don't want to take too much against the Tampa Bay game, but I actually thought Atlanta played pretty good considering it is Atlanta.
I don't know.
Dude, that offense was cooking.
They scored 10 points total. Like I watched like a good amount of highlights, but they've had they got shut out by New England. They scored 3 against Dallas. They barely beat the Jaguars. And they really only scored 10 against Tampa. So I'm not but then again, our defense has been just as bad the last 2 weeks. I mean, we made Taylor Heineke look like Brett Favre. So
I know.
It was bad.
Dude, Taylor Heineke, he is so bad though.
No, he did play really well in that game, though. I will give him credit.
Yeah, I guess. It's fine. Like, what do you think? We'll just hop to another game. Like, what do you think of Tampa Bay against the Bills?
I think really it's going to come down to who was the better game plan because I'm really curious to see if Arians tries to run the ball because the Buccaneers right now, they lead the NFL in the amount of the percentage of passing plays they run. And we all know the weakness of this Bills defense is on the ground. So I think you need to do that as much as possible, especially with a big back like Fournette. That would be my game plan going into a game like this. But I think either way, the Bucs are going to win, especially without Tre'Davious White. This is a game you really want him for, and he's not going to be there.
Let me just take this question. Marco, I post them. I normally post more January to September. I've only posted 8 since September. But because the NFL. But yes, I will be posting more soccer. And then, yeah, man, I got Tampa Bay because I've been seeing a lot of commenters say they expect a response from the Bills. And listen, I think there could be a response, especially because you've been saying all year this Tampa Bay secondary, they're kind of rugged, man, and they don't cover that well. But I'm telling you, man, something's wrong with the Bills. And listen, they're so predictable. You throw it 70-75% of the time in this league, unless you got a go offensive line, your quarterback's going to get hit.
Mm-hmm. And something else to note, the Bucs' run defense has not been very good lately. Like Atlanta actually was pretty good on the ground against them. I saw the other day that they've been averaging like 5 yards a carry given up to running backs the last 3 weeks, which is not good. And that's typically like normally Tampa Bay is like one of the better run defenses in the league. So I was surprised to see that they're doing that, but maybe that's something the Bills can exploit.
I don't think they will.
Yeah, I don't either. They wouldn't do it on Monday, and they wouldn't do it in 70-mile-per-hour winds. They're not going to do it against Tampa Bay in the heat.
No, and yeah, dude, that game and for me, man, with the Bills, I actually think this is going to be like obverse to what people like. I actually think that the Buccaneers are going to pound it on them, like because the memo is out. You can pound it on the Buffalo Bills, and if you really want to, you had the running back to do it. Like I'm not like I used to be a huge Fournette guy, but I'm just saying, man, big Fournette going forward against that small beaten down front where there's really only Ed Oliver. I just don't see how the Bills stop the run. And then Brady, dude, Brady's peaking at the right time. I mean,
dude,
Brady
he was perfect against. He was perfect. Yeah, that 40-yard dart he just threw to Evans, I was like, woof. Like I watched that film in preparation for this Panthers Falcons game, and I just walked away from that film just saying, man, we're gonna get smoked by Tampa Bay this year because they look good and they're like you said, they're peaking at the right time.
Yeah, and they have to peak against the Packers. Yeah, I mean, it's really down to them and the Packers, and I definitely think Tampa Bay needs the home field. Like, I'm not saying they couldn't go to Lambeau and win. I'm not going to say anything crazy like that. But I think Tampa Bay needs the home field. That's like another big reason. Like, okay, do I love that it's -3.5 and not like -2.5 or -3? Yeah, of course. Of course, I don't love it that it's -3.5. But I think Tampa Bay, they win the game by like 10.
Against the
Bills.
I can see it. In order for the Bills to win, Josh Allen has to have a really good game. Like one of his better career games ever. So that, and like we said, they would be smart to run the ball and actually try to keep that run pass balance. But
dude, before you go off, man.
Yeah, I know. I saw this.
Just what's going on, dude? I'm really disappointed because listen, I knew it was going to be difficult. I felt like it was going to be like 4 or 5 wins, but this is really, really bad. Like, and everything's bad on the team. And like, it's fine to go at Marvin Jones, but that shit should have been done like week 4.
Yeah. Dude, I saw someone say today in Jacksonville, they were asking the question if Trevor Lawrence's college receivers are better than his current NFL receivers. When you think about, he had T. Higgins, Renthro from the Raiders. Like, there's a serious case to be made that his players in college are better than they are now. So.
Yeah, and here's the main problem with the team. Like, I want to like Laviska Shenault, but Marvin Jones is so bad. That's just the definition of someone who's just there for the payday. And you put that around Lawrence, dude. They're going to kill his career. So, and I don't want to use that as an excuse. Okay, I'm still sticking by Lawrence. He should be the best quarterback to come out of this draft, even though, man, he likes flailing out of the pocket too early. But they're so bad, I would be flailing out of the pocket early. And it's just because even if he stays in and delivers it, they're going to drop it. And there has to be some sort of stat proving it. Like, I know Pro Football Focus did their 32 out of 32 in separation. That Urban has to take a little bit of heat for that. I mean,
I see if I were the head coach or the owner, like my first step would be firing Urban Meyer because he has been bad. I don't know if you saw the report today, but there was a report today saying that he basically called out like all his assistant coaches, like saying they have like a loser's mindset and that he's had like several confrontations with players and he's always making like these mind-boggling like in-game decisions, like not playing James Robinson for some reason. Like it's just crap like that where it's like a really basic decision, but they get away from it.
I'm going to defend him on the James Robinson thing. Okay, you fumble in this league. Everyone's acting like, no, Hoodie puts the guy back in after he fumbles because he did against the Bills one time. Like, listen, a guy fumbles, you take him out. And for me, I don't know if you were here earlier, but I think James Robinson sucks, okay? Like, listen, he just runs forward and gets 4 yards. And when you're running against defenses, soft fronts, when it's 27-3, you're going to get 4 or 5 yards of carry. When has he ever bursted one? Like, where's anything that special? Like, how is he not like replacement level? He's probably like raw average. And I don't want to say he sucks, but also like Urban Meyer, he lost this thing a long time ago, and that's what I don't get. And here's the thing that bothers me about Urban. Like, listen, the thing when he was like in the bar and his like wife was at home, that was bad.
Yeah, getting the lap dance.
Yeah, but they were by like a 20-year-old, which was hilarious.
But dude, keep going.
Yeah, dude, he's got heart problems. I don't know if he should be doing that. But yeah, and then you're to the point where the thing that really got me, Mike, this report, I think is just baloney. He probably did do some of it, but sometimes you have to yell
I believe
at
it.
people.
I completely believe it.
I believe it. But then again, like, what coach doesn't bitch someone out? Like, it's like,
well, you can bitch people out, but you have to be winning. Like if Bill Belichick calls you out, then that's okay because Bill Belichick's got like 7 Super Bowls. But Urban Meyer hasn't done anything. His team's got 2 wins. So
yeah, and here's the thing that sums it up. Urban is dirty, man. And here's the thing: this college mentality of looking for a job, the next job when you already got a job, when you're not even through the season yet. It's just dude. I hate that stuff.
Yeah,
and the lack of loyalty in college football is just corny, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's more loyalty in the NFL. I grew up. People said, "I don't watch the NFL. There's no loyalty, bro." Like. College football is worse. There's no loyalty in that.
But when you're switching coaches mid-season, like, how do you explain that to your team? Like, especially when you have like a winning record, like Lincoln Riley leaving Oklahoma. Like, I don't get that at all.
I can explain it, dude. That SEC is going to be brutal.
Oh, yes, it will. They're going to get killed.
Yeah, because they're finesse, and it's going to take a while to get like the big uglies. I think that's the big difference in the SEC. The big uglies, defense line, offensive line. Like, I don't even think the skill positions like are better than like a place like Oklahoma or Clemson or anything like that. I just think their offensive line, defensive line, bro. Like,
it's more physical over there, is what I think.
Yeah, and you know how big kids are in the South, dude. They're so freaking big. So I mean. Yeah, man, and I would rather go to USC than Oklahoma, especially because, like, how's Oklahoma going to match up with Bama when they got 260-pound linemen? It's not going to work.
Mm-hmm. But
yeah, any last words?
This is kind of off tangent here, but I wanted to just for my entertainment, I wanted to see how you were feeling the last week about your Vikings. Like, how's that been for you?
Oh, dude, it's terrible. And I watched that game against Detroit, and I was just like
what the heck?
There's not much to say. It's just I don't know how they managed to choke away games, and they really should have lost against Pittsburgh. Like,
well, yeah. I mean, you got a 29-point lead and give like 3/4 of it away in under 5 minutes. Like, that's pretty bad. But credit to them for holding out, though.
Yeah, and it's such a waste of talent. Like, how much talent is on that offensive side of the football. It's not even enjoyable to watch them play. Like, when the Vikings were bad, I used to actually like watching them play because, I had Dalvin Cook, like, always had good wide receivers on the team. So, they would make it
was entertaining.
Fun. Yeah.
It's like last year with the Panthers.
Yeah.
Like even when they were bad, they would fight. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, you could actually bet them, and, you could actually – listen, if you lose the bet, you could just say whatever. Like, at least they came out to play, but they don't even show up. Like, they okay, they'll play, one good quarter, then they'll just play 3 crappy quarters.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know. I feel your pain there, especially. The third quarter is like the Panthers living hell. Like, we can't get anything done in the third quarter of games for some reason.
And who do you – and just one last question. Who do you think's going to get this last NFC playoff spot? Or should we just give it – you talk about Russian roulette, bro. Betting that who gets the NFC last playoff spot with, Vikings, Panthers. Oh, bro, they made a mistake.
Dude, I feel bad for those AFC, wild card teams or those wild card contenders in the AFC, who are all, slugging it out, all going to be showing up fighting to the wire. And then you got the NFC that's literally just letting someone in. I don't know. It'll probably – I don't know. If your Vikings can get together, it'll probably be you guys. 49ers are in there too. I think the Rams got their spot pretty much wrapped up. But even the 6th seed, before it was kind of the consensus that the 49ers and Seahawks were going to be in, but those 2 teams lost last week, and y'all don't look too good right now. So it's really it's whoever wants it's going to make it. You just have to show up and just not be an idiot, and you'll get in.
Yeah, I agree. All right,
Yeah,
bro.
it's sad in the
You'll
NFC.
have a great weekend.
Yeah, you too, man. Enjoy
See
not
you, man.
having to watch your team tomorrow.
Oh, I know. It's like actually a relief. Now
Dude,
I'm going to
I was
the bats.
dude, I got to just watch Red Zone last week. It was so much fun. Like just getting to sit back and watch Red Zone. But
Red Zone's so good. It's almost like a TV show.
it was, dude. I was driving. I'll get off, but I was driving to Pensacola, and like I had Red Zone like on my dashboard, so I could like see the road and my screen at the same time. And I was just going through that. It was the fastest like 5 hour drive of my life. It was awesome. But
Yeah, dude. Like I do like 3 TVs, and on one TV I always have to have Red Zone. I
yeah,
always have to.
all right.
All right, bro.
Well, see you, man.
Enjoy
Thanks
this
for having
weekend.
me. Yep. Bye.
See you, man. Yo, what's up? What's up? I'm gonna get to the Patreon questions. What's up, Lauren? I saw you come in. Yeah, man. Like the thing about Josh Allen, I think he can exploit the secondary, and Tampa Bay's secondary hasn't been playing that good, but I don't think they're going to fire him before the end of the season just because of his contract. I think they're going to try to make him quit. We'll see if they're able to do it. Another mistake by the Khan family. That one should have worked out a little bit better. This is from Ray. Who you got, Poirier or Oliveira? UFC fight tonight for the championship. I'm going Oliveira, man. Here's the thing, though. If this goes like to 4th and 5th round, I think Poirier is going to beat him. Brazilians, I'm not. She doesn't speak English, so they tend to do a lot of anabolic steroids. I'm not throwing around accusations or anything, but come on, like, dude, people on the beach here, like they do steroids. You can tell. I'm not like that. More plates, more dates guy who goes on about other men's bodies. But if it goes to like the 3rd, 4th round, first of all, Poirier's got like magical lungs. So and you don't want to get tired in a UFC fight. That's the biggest fear. And if Oliveira doesn't take him out early, Oliveira is going to get his ass whooped because Poirier has him in the heart department. Like Oliveira, man, is he going to be able to grapple the fuck out of Dustin Poirier? I was surprised he was able to grapple Michael Chandler to the point he did. And yeah, I'm going to get Lauren on here. Lauren, if you want to come on. Because let me get these Patreon ones. All right, I don't want to miss anyone's. Timothy says, Money Man, are we hammering the Browns this week? Ravens are beat up. I can't touch that game. I can't touch that game. And I appreciate the love. Let me read your part. I actually got the Ravens in that game. Baker Mayfield has to play better before I bet him again. We haven't bet the Browns since that Patriots fiasco, and it's paid off for us. Okay, Ravens. Okay, here's the parlay. Cleveland, I wouldn't do that one. San Fran, that's risky. I think San Fran gets it, though. Kansas City, money line, I like that. Tennessee, I love that. Atlanta, I like it. I like it, man. I like it. It's just, I don't know about that San Francisco game either. Here we go. Yeah, Kyle, I'm not a big fan of Mike Glennon, but I think at least gives them some stability because Jake Fromm's got a really weak arm. And also, didn't he only have like 10 days to learn the playbook? So for me, that's like a huge issue. I'm going to just get some water. 1 second. Yeah, Lauren, take your time. I'm going to be on like 2 hours tonight. I'm going to just get some water, then I'll be back. Oh, no, I'm on. Eu preciso usar a banho. Tudo bom no Instagram. Appreciate you guys for waiting. Yeah, dude, I'm on the Saints too. I'm on the Saints. But I understand why people are saying that it's like an upset waiting to happen. And Taysom Hill's so goddamn bad, it's tough to bet on. And I just want Jameis Winston to come back so we can start winning that Saints money again. Really is in love with the Saints though. Like, I actually thought that spread would be like -3 Saints, -4 Saints, but it's a problem, man. It's a problem. Okay. Yeah, Dwayne, I would stay the hell away from that due to all the COVID injuries. Yeah, I agree, dude, because things aren't like equal in the United States. Like it's like you don't get much out of the relationship in the United States. It's more you just like doing everything. I realized that when I was like 16 years old, and I always stayed away from that junk. Yeah, and like divorce, the laws in the United States, like even if you did find like a good woman, like the divorce laws are tempting for them. Who wouldn't be? Who wouldn't be tempted? If you know like you're going to win and you're going to get what you ask for. Not to go off on a tangent. Okay, let's Moneyline Repo. Which spread would you bet money on and why? I'll type that to you on page. Okay. Shea Garcia, what's up, big dog? Money, money, money. Niners -1, Bills +4, Detroit Lions under 42. Which two are you more comfortable with? I'm not confident with any of those. I don't like the Bills this week. Niners, I think they'll get it, but it's risky. And Denver Lions under 42. I can vibe with it, but I haven't seen the weather report there. That's where I'm at. Okay, Lauren Kaiser, wrong team favored here with Cincinnati. I was shocked by it. I thought Cincinnati would at least get favored. Yeah. So 42 exactly. Yeah, like sometimes when I do the over unders, like it'll come out to a push when I guess the score, and I'm just like, okay, nothing to see here. Let's get it. Yeah, dude, don't get me in trouble. Yeah, and I don't want to get in trouble on YouTube, and I don't want to badmouth. I don't want to badmouth people because there's like lots of really good women in the United States, lots of really good men in the United States too. It's just things are like really complicated, and everything has like, not trying to get philosophical, but yeah, dude, and like yeah, and like in Brazil, it's different. Like, it's the thickness is completely different, and that's what I prefer. Everyone has their taste, everyone has their cup of tea, but I prefer that, and it's like a different level. Like sometimes I go to the beach with my girl, and she'll be like, "Oh, look at that big ass," or she'll say it in like a more polite way than that. But yeah, it's a more normal thing here, and it's not bad. Yeah, so I would definitely suggest coming down here. It's just at least to visit. I'll show you around. The weather's really good. If you like Florida weather, you'll like it down here. Yeah, it's pretty good one. Yeah. But yeah, if you guys want to come down, I'll show you around. Like I can't like go to like bars with you and initiate that stuff because I'm in a committed relationship. But I'll help you out as much as I can. Yeah, and also, yeah, it's good. All right, let's get. I think I got through all the Patreon questions. I don't want to miss anyone. Here we go. Yeah, okay. I think we got through all the questions. Let me get to the YouTube questions though. I'm in the north. I got a house in a state called Sierra. And right now I'm in a place called because there's one problem with Brazil. It's the government and everything involved with it, the bureaucracy. But other than that, everything's good. And I've been saving money for a long time. Luckily, my parents let me save money, so I spent a lot of time in their house, even though I had to live in Florida working for quite some time. I was able to save money, and that's what I want to do. I was wanting to save money and just kind of get out, especially with the housing costs. Um, Here we go. Here we go. All right. Let me get to some questions. Which part of Florida? Used to live in Fort Myers. I coached football at a school called LaBelle. It's a small town, small farming community. But I lived in Fort Myers and commuted there. I like this pretty good. Um, Florida is a little bit expensive, though. Yeah, there's a lot of sharks, especially in this city. It's the stereotype. The city that I'm in now, where I live, no, it's calm. It has really good beaches, like Caribbean style beaches. Um, I'm 30. I'm 30 years old. 29 or 30. Sometimes I lose count. 30 years old, man. Um, Here we go. Let's get it. Okay, am I missing any questions? Let me just reload this on Patreon. All right, send the questions on YouTube if I missed your questions. Let's get it. Let's get it. Okay. Okay, 4-game teaser from Paul Pastore. 4-game teaser. Tampa Bay, Green Bay, Dallas, KC. How much is the teaser? Okay, I'm going to just use 7 points. Okay, you're going to bring KC down to 2. I like it. Dallas is -4. I would go the other direction on it unless you are really nervous about the no names. I would scrap that Dallas game and use the teaser on the no names. Green Bay, if you bring that down to, if we're using 7, you bring that down to -5. I'm with it. I'm with it. And Tampa Bay, do you want us to just bring Tampa pick them, or do you want to go to +3.5, +3? I did put Tampa Bay +3 on my teaser, even though we lose the points. Okay, he said 6. Okay, Stephen Fogel, 2 teams, 6-point teaser. Ravens, Titans. I'm a little bit nervous about the Ravens. Titans, I love. You might want to use that same energy and just put the Seahawks. I don't know how good the Seahawks are going to be. I don't think them beating San Fran means the Seahawks got right or anything's really going to change, but I do think they beat the hell out of the Texans. And also, I do think them going with Davis Mills is a message saying, like, we're tanking. We're tanking. Yeah. The problem is the real estate prices in Florida. If you already got going to live good and you're going to make money on that house every single minute. If you don't have a house, you're fucked. If you're poor, you're fucked. And there's no help coming. There's no end in sight. So that's my problem. Yeah, dude, yeah, dude, I don't feel old, man. I still got my curiosity. I always like learning new things. Um, okay, freshness. Chiefs by 10. What's your take? Took KC 9.5 and Tampa Bay 3. Chiefs should do it. And let me just throw a question back to you. Are we seeing any signs from the Raiders? Because I think out of any team in this league, I have more Raiders subscribers than any other team in this league, first of all. So, but I've been going against the Raiders ever since Chalky got out. And the Ruggs things just added to the problems. And we don't need to talk about off the field. I explained on the field what effect that Ruggs situation would have, and signing Deshaun Jackson really hasn't fixed any of it. So what signs are we seeing from the Raiders that, first of all, they're even going to come to fight? And secondly, do they have the talent or gumption? Are they going to get any coaching? And it's Andy Reid against an interim coach. So you should be comfortable. As for Tampa Bay, I think Brady's playing at a high level. And I think Tampa Bay is going to run the ball well. I would like to hear someone come on here and talk about the Bills, though. We'll see, though. Falcon here. Falcon. What's up, man? Chargers. I don't know, man. Like when I was down there, like for instance, even in a bad place like Lehigh Acres, they were getting 1,200 for like a small crappy house, and there wasn't like any apartment options because all the old people took them up. Yeah, dude, Cam Newton's a problem, man, and I don't know. I was happy to see him come back, but I also think there's problems with Carolina, like Michael Mann's been saying the whole year. Problems with the offensive playbook, problems with all of that. Carr. Okay, this is from Turk. Let me get to Turk's question. Let me scroll up, Turk. Turk 182, under 43, all 3 games. Jets, Giants, Jags. Let me think. Yeah, I have to go under with the Jags-Titans game. I don't like it. But have the Jags even proved they're capable of putting up garbage time points? Not really. Giants, I'd be cautious with that one. That's one I don't like. Jets, I do like. Jets and Saints should go under. Especially because, listen, we can talk about the Jets defense all day, but I also had problems with their offense. And the Saints defense, if they still have energy, if they still have verb, they're going to come in and kick ass. Rob, no, I haven't seen any. I do like the Leonard Fournette over for rush yards. I can't remember the number off the top of my head. That was one that I saw that I liked. Got a 3-bedroom for $2K. Dude, that $2K is a ton for rent. How much do you make a month? Like, that's a ton for rent, even if you're raking it in. That's a ton. I don't know, dude. That's a ton, man. But, I mean, you do get to live in Florida. Tasha, Vegas shows earlier 100% of the bets were on Tampa. The spread seems suspicious. I don't know. I'm just judging by what I've seen in the comment section this week. It seems like it's like 60% Tampa, 40% Bills. So yeah, yeah, you got to go more into depth why you think that's suspicious. I'm listening. Ravens plus 14. Yeah, dude, Dakota, that's going to be a close game. And like for me, I'd like the Ravens just to win that game outright, period. And it's because what's Baker Mayfield going to do? And I know the Ravens are playing like dog do as well. I'm not trying to frame it or spin it in a different direction. But my point is Baker Mayfield might be playing the worst football in the league. And have we seen any signs that he's going to start playing better? I mean, the Browns are stacked, man. They're absolutely a stacked team. But when you got Baker Mayfield playing the way he is, they probably won't make the playoffs, and they simply don't deserve to. Yeah. Okay. Dude, but Mike, you're living with other people. You're living with other people. You're living with other people. No, it's no. You're living with other people. That's not what we signed up for, all right? And Mike, you're a calm guy. I could live with you, bro. Because you're a considerate, intelligent, probably clean person. But, bro, like our court system, like, you know, the small claims court is cluttered with people trying to live and people suing each other, and they just can't get along. I don't know, man. And Mike, you're 24. You're in good shape. No, not trying to be gay. You're pretty good looking, bro. Come on, man. Like, you know, that's something that could block some things you're trying to work on the streets there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it kind of is a buzzkill. you know, you got the gal, she's interested, and you know she wants to come back, and then like you got two buddies in the kitchen. It just kind of kills the ambiance, it kills the mood. But that's just me, man. And then in college, it's different. I lived in a college house where we had like 11 people, 8 were girls, so they at least kept things clean. But yes, yeah, I get it. I get it. He knows per month. Yeah, yes, per month, dude. You're going to be in the top 98% here. Okay. And there's math where you could work that out. There's a newspaper here that actually does the math. You choose your city and you show you how much your monthly income is. The U.S. dollar is really powerful here because the president of Brazil, he did a new strategy where right now one U.S. dollar is 5.6 of their money. You'll see the money because I think it's going to be a big week this week, so I'm going to throw it in the air. But yes, dude, you're going to be good. You're going to live a very high quality lifestyle. Dude, yeah, he lives in Florida. You guys can have a meet and greet. And yeah, dude, Florida is the best, and it's kind of like the last bastion of United States life that's awesome. It's one of the few places that, like Georgia was like that. South Carolina, it's kind of good. It just depends what you like, you know. Where I live in upstate New York actually never was too bad. It's just the winters. But in Florida, you know, Florida gets a bad rap, man, and it really shouldn't. Dude, Mike should have chicks lined up. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, and yeah, it's a buzzkill, and he knows I'm right about it. Okay, Rob Thorne, Fournette is 56.5 on the low, 60.5. We got to pound that, right? Could someone tell me Fournette's not going to get over 60 yards? I know Fournette competes with touches, and when you got Tom Brady and you got a bunch of good wide receivers, okay, we know Tampa Bay can get away from the run, but if you look at how soft this front is, and we know what the Bills like doing, they don't like bringing Poyer, they don't like bringing their safeties in the box. Michael Hyde is better when he's in center field. Same with Poyer. They like staying back. So we got seven people in the box for Buffalo. You got one player who's good at stopping the run, and Tremaine Edmonds is banged up. Matt Milano hasn't played good this year, and both are rather small at the point of attack. I just don't know how they're going to stop the run. Like, they're actually missing someone as simple as like Shaq Lawson. They let him go, and they don't have anyone who can really get in the run fit and stay there. Yeah, Mike's just pulling out straight alpha, man. He's just like going alpha in this bitch. Like, it's about the ambiance, okay? If you kill the ambiance, it's not going to happen though. Mike could be like the most suave guy in the world, dude. For 80% of women, especially in Florida, since I lived there, it would kill the ambiance for them. Well, that's good, Mike. At least they're respectful. I think good point, Phil. Good point, Phil. I think, but didn't we think? But wouldn't that be the game plan against the Colts, though? Isn't that what they try to do? Wouldn't that be the game plan against the Colts, Phil, though? Like, make Carson Wentz throw it? Yeah, like Jonathan Taylor's looking like Barry Sanders or Walter Sweetness Payton out there. You know what I'm saying? And then also Tampa Bay. One thing people sleep on with Tampa Bay is they got one of the best offensive lines in this league. One of the most versatile offensive lines. They're good going forward on the run block. They're good going back on the pass block. And I don't know if there's a more well-rounded offensive line in this league. Like, I love Cleveland if we're talking going forward and just trying to get nasty with people, trying to intimidate them, trying to force their will on other people. But honestly, the most versatile offensive line probably is the Buccaneers. It just gets kind of lost in the sauce because Brady, Mike Evans, Antonio Brown, Chris Godwin. That's yeah. Can you take us on a live street or beach walk one day? Yes, I will. I was going to do the teaser video last week on the beach near my house. I will do it because I'll show you how we live. And yes, Brazil's got problems. A lot of people are poor here, especially in the region I'm in, and it will break your heart. It will. But, dude, seeing some of the stuff in the United States breaks my heart too. So, like, there's a lot of things that, like, break my heart. But if you pay a good $500, $600, you're going to get a really safe area. And if you want to be near the beach, you'll be near the beach. It'll be safe. You have to move differently here. You just have to move a little bit differently. Like, I don't like going out after like 9:30, for instance. Some people do, and nothing happens to them. But you just have to move a little bit differently. And Craig, I'm awesome, man. Dude, I like getting on here and talking to you guys, man. The live call-in show is probably my favorite video of the week. And we always talk about some good stuff. And Ash G, what's up, Ash? Ravens and Raiders teaser. Let me think. I like the Ravens in that mix. I think you can do better than the Raiders, though. I don't want you going with the Raiders here because, okay, you're going to pump that up to like maybe like what? Plus 15, plus 16. Maybe you're going to pump it up 10. So we're going to get like, what, plus 19. There is blowout potential there. I would rather take down the Titans or the Hawks. And you guys, and Ash, you know, I don't like betting the Seahawks. I don't like betting the Titans. I actually despise betting those two teams. But sometimes you got to do it. And I've seen no evidence the Texans are going to show up. Davis Mills is horrendous. And I've seen no evidence this Jags thing's going to get right. I keep waiting for the Jags to at least play how they played against Miami. They bring that level of game. They can actually compete and cover spreads. I just think that's a lost cause. So Titans, Seahawks, I'll probably tease down. Zane, hey Lawson, what you think about Antonio Gibson over yards? I think it's over 65. Love it. I love it. He's a little bit banged up. He took a weird hit to the neck 2 weeks ago, but he was able to go out and play against the Raiders. I'm going over, man. And this Cowboys defense can be exposed. And really, the Diggs brother has saved them this year. And Micah Parsons is ridiculous. But when you got a player like Micah Parsons who's freakishly fast off the edge, or you got like a Von Miller, you don't try to throw it 30 times. You run the ball straight down their throat, and that's what you have to do against elite pass rushers. Against the Bosa brothers, you can't really run it down their throat, but also they don't have that fast first step that will absolutely annihilate you. But with those dudes, when you're looking at Micah Parsons, dude, he literally looks like fucking Roadrunner because he's so big, but his first step is so fast. It's absolutely ridiculous. But the no names are playing 80s type football, and that's why they've been winning. 2 tight end sets. Hell, maybe put a fullback in there and pound it. That's what they've been doing, and that's where they're good at. They were killing the clock, running the ball down the Raiders' throat. Raiders weren't going to get it back. Then they let Heineke throw it, and of course, he lobs it up in the middle of the field. It's just, yeah, Gibson over 65. I would feel pretty comfortable with it. Yeah, it's kind of impossible, Steve. There can be rare instances of men in their 20s who are able to make it work, but I know a lot of women who tried to do it, and it always ends really bad. Really does. Okay, email me, Lauren. I'm gonna get you on. 1 second. 1 second. No, Phil. I like your instincts because eventually the Bills have to say, it's just all push me back. You're not going to dominate me. You're not going to raw dog me on national TV. There's nothing worse than a defense who gets raw dogged on national TV. You tell them it's going to the 4-hole. They know it's going up the middle, and yet they can't stop it, and they get pushed back, and it just gets worse as the game goes on. There's nothing worse than that. I mean, they have to step up. I'm just not seeing the signals. This Tampa, credit to the Patriots, credit to the hoodie, eating a little bit crow about the hoodie this year with how he's got his team playing. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Shouldn't the response have been against the Colts? It just feels like they're leaving it way. I still think the Bills find a way to get into the playoffs. I'm not getting over dramatic here, but to fly, of course, I never had fear of airplanes. I just don't like the bullshit when you fly international travel and make you take that COVID test, and if it's not in 72 hours and the lab takes 48 hours to get it back to you. So it just creates unneeded anxiety for people and really doesn't help. So yeah. 6-7 years. I visited here probably 6-7 times. And then I'm kind of like a nerd. So when NFL season's over, I always do hobbies. Like I practice learning the language. You are going to need to learn the language here. It's not like one of those countries that speaks English. Yeah, internet is dying, man. Yeah, my internet. Yeah, dude, because when you fly, especially international, even if you fly inside the States, they create extra anxiety. And they did a test with the TSA. There's a government report that was actually leaked to like New York Times. Dude, they did a test with people trying to smuggle stuff in, and TSA only caught like 1 out of 10 people. You guys can go look up the article. It's like, why are we going through all this just to scare people? I sent the link, Lauren. Yeah, dude, it's just too much anxiety for people. It's too much. And no, not really. I've been out of the crypto game. I made a pretty good chunk of change with Chainlink. I got a guy on Instagram. He's trying to get me back in. We don't. None of these markets make sense. And once I started learning a lot about economics, I just realized like these markets make no sense. And how bad is my internet right now? Because we're probably going to have to get more on and probably dip because my internet's crashing. Yeah, I want to see what Dallas does against Washington, man. I think that's gonna. We actually got some really good games this week. I mean, that's one thing that is nice, man. Because last week the games weren't all that good. Like, for instance, Baltimore Cleveland, I'm excited for it, although it could be an ugly game. I'm just excited to see what the Chiefs do. Not really. I don't think Las Vegas KC is a good game, but I'm just excited to see what they do. Really, I'm ready for Buffalo, Tampa Bay. I hope they have Tony Romo on the call. That'll make it pretty special. And yeah, in Atlanta, Carolina, I'm interested in just because we talk a lot about Carolina. Here we go. All right, let's see. Yeah, man. Thank you, James. I appreciate it. Yeah, dude. And I always try to give a helping hand. Hopefully someone comes visits me in the off season. I'll definitely show you guys around. Yo, what's up, Petros? How you doing, my friend? Everything good with you? Okay, sounds good. We're getting you on. We got to talk about the Saints Jets. I've been kind of waiting to talk about the Saints Jets. Just 20 minutos, então vou terminar. Você pode conseguir refrigerante? Obrigado. Yeah, dude, you don't like Romo? How don't you like Tony Romo? Yeah, but didn't we already we've the no names have been pretty lucrative for us. I do worry a little bit about the no names because Taylor Heineke. That's part of the problem. It's because the way he's so sloppy with the ball. It's something that is bothering me. And yeah, I'm not a big and like I just don't like Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. They sometimes they're good. Sometimes I don't mind Troy. But he needs to be more critical like he was when he first started. It's okay to criticize people. Like you don't have to be everyone's buddy. You know what I'm saying? I'll criticize you guys sometimes. It doesn't mean I hate you or anything. You guys will criticize me sometimes. I'm not going to go like cry about it. I might troll you back one day, but I'm not going to go like cry about it. I'm not that sensitive. Jarrett Hart, Lawson, I've lived in Orlando my entire life. Their rent and housing is out of control. I pay $1,700 for a one-bedroom, 730 square feet. I'm ready to move to Brazil. Dude, it's not right. It's not right what they're doing to us. And they forced me out of that country, man, because I don't want to overpay for stuff. And you know how they go in and like people will complain, oh, the meat's high. How are we going to get Thanksgiving food on the table? Bro, like that's the least of the problems. And everyone's got like a new car in the United States, like a big old 60 grand truck. Yet they make a house impossible to buy. And then if you mess up on your credit score one time, they're going to flank your ass and not let you get one. Even if you got like a 70K down payment. Yo, what's going on with your camera?
What's wrong with it?
I'm just seeing like kind of like I don't even know what I'm seeing. It's like kind of like static in a way. I don't even see your face, but it's good. It's good.
Really? I see you. I'm gonna go out and come back in. Let me go out and come back in.
Sounds good. Yeah. No, but and Jarrett, this is one thing that really makes me mad, and I feel like I'm the only one who gets mad about it. I think it's the biggest issue in the country going forward. Yeah, it's the thing that's least talked about, and the country's answer to this, like New York City and Austin, is just to add more apartments and like to change the zoning laws. Yeah, Lauren, we can't see you, but we can just go voice. It's good.
You can't see me?
No, and I wanted to just see. Yeah, and like you see how it's static. I don't even know what's going on.
I mean, I can see you perfectly fine. Does everyone else can't see me either?
I'm waiting to see what they say in the chat. I'm a little bit behind. Let me just take this Tyreek Hill one when I wait for what they see. Tyreek Hill, 77 and a half receiving yards. I would probably go under. He hasn't had that good as
I'm gonna move. Let me move to another location.
Yeah, it's just move to another location, maybe.
Let me try that.
Like I'm starting to see your face like now a little bit. It's kind of like buzzing through. I don't know what's going on. Are you using your cell?
Yeah, I'm gonna go outside. Hold on.
Sounds good. Yeah, it's just go out there and reconnect.
Okay.
Yeah, they're seeing like green and red colors. Brady over 2.5 touchdowns. Yeah, I like Brady over 2.5 touchdowns. That's why I like because it is dangerous because I do think Fournette's going to have a big day, but I would probably go over. Yeah, it was like kind of like some alien stuff. It really was. Yeah, we're still at the same alien line. All right, Lawrence, just go. Just tell us what you think. So I don't think we're going to fix the camera tonight.
Really? This is so bizarre. Because I see myself, but okay. All right.
So we want your opinion on Saints versus Jets.
So, all right. I mean, I don't really, especially this year, I'm not really a fan of the Saints as favorites. But this week, there's always exceptions to the rule. So, what is it, 5? Right?
It's at 5 now. There's some lines that have it at 4.5, which is kind of appealing, but
yeah, I think that isn't that Elijah Moore? I know because I have him on fantasy. I think he's got a quad issue. Both of their running backs are out. Their defense is so bad.
They got an offensive lineman out too for an already bad offensive line against an active.
Yeah, front. And the thing is that the Saints have going for them is Kamara's back. So I mean, you can just feed him the whole damn game, and he's gonna jump all over everybody. I mean, it's just it's the Jets. So I know it's just the Jets, but like I feel like with Kamara back, and I mean, obviously we know Taysom's not gonna throw this week. Let's hope. I think, but he's gonna bulldoze through some people a couple times. So we know that's gonna happen.
That run against the Cowboys where he hurdled. Oh my goodness, that was one of the nastiest runs I've seen all year.
Was that not sick? Right? I was like, what in the holy? Just does not. He doesn't care. I was like, no wonder why he's always hurt. I'm like, he just doesn't care, So I'm on the Saints this week. I bet it. I took it as a bet because I don't like doing it, but it was just so appetizing. It was just
never bet your own team.
I know I don't like to, only when they're dogs, but this was just too appetizing for me not to.
Yeah. What do you think about the Tampa Bay Bills game?
I'm on the Mafia. I know I'm going to be against the public, I'm sure. I'm against, I just think that Monday night game, throw it the hell out the window. Throw it the hell out the window. Belichick, they threw 3 times, completed 1 pass, and beat the. Throw it out the damn window. Throw the blizzard out the window. I don't like the overreactions on it. And there are times when Tampa can get exploited. And this is one of those times. Washington did it to them. The Saints did it to them. The Rams, I think, did it to them. There's times when they can get exploited.
But aren't you a little bit concerned about how, like, for instance, the Bills got blown the fuck out by the Colts?
Yeah, and I was on the Colts that week. So
that's the problem, though. I think it's the beginning of the end. Like, because with the Bills, man, is their offensive line going to be able to hold up? Like, I think that's evolving into the new problem, and the turnovers are sickening.
Yeah, and I think that they have to. They need this. The Bills need this game. Tampa doesn't need this game. The Bills need this game. So I feel like, I know Josh Allen, and of course this is obviously going to not be against Tom and Tampa. He's like 6-0 or something against the NFC last year or whatever, but like, not that really matters, but you now have it down where it's in Florida. It's warm. There's no more blizzard. I know there's some heavy weather experts on this show. I think Allen's going to throw, and he is going to hit Diggs, Beasley, Gabriel Davis, probably the guy selling popcorn. He is going to throw because they don't have a run game. The run game is him. So you can't. There's Tampa secondary. Is anyone forgetting how bad it is? And you got someone like Josh Allen throwing the ball. This is not Carson Wentz. Look what Carson Wentz did to him. Did to that secondary.
But that's the problem, though. The problem is like the targets for Emmanuel Sanders and Cole Beasley are out of control. Stephon Diggs, he hasn't even got going this year. Right.
He had one big game a couple weeks ago where it was like we finally saw like, holy crap, like he's He's back, maybe, sort of. And I think it's just they're gonna have a hard time. I think if they can game manage, I think it can be a field goal game. And actually, I got it money line. I know I'm against you. I'm probably against public. I'm
Got a
probably
money
against.
line.
I am. I'm on it. I'm probably, I got burned when I did the Colts against Baltimore. Everybody said, "Oh my God, it was a terrible bet." But let's be honest, like, I'm not mad at that bet, with the Colts in Baltimore. That Monday night game where they were up 17-0 or whatever, So I got it money line just because I just, you got a feeling. I'm from up there. I live in Florida now, but I'm from up there. I know that Mafia team travels. They'll be in Tampa. There'll be some hype for them. There's a lot of New Yorkers down there too. I don't know that Tampa can beat them by 30 like they do a lot of other people. I just don't think they.
I don't think they're winning by 30. But yeah, like the thing with Tampa Bay's defense is you have to be able to block them. And I don't know if the Bills can block them. And that, I think that's the big match of the game. The Bills are able to block them. And then also what you said about Josh Allen being the run game, like that's how it used to be. But they don't even use him to that extent anymore. And
they brought in Matt Breida. Matt Breida's been kind of like the run guy over there now, which I guess that goes to show you what they feel about Moss and Singletary. And it's not even like they're running a lot there, but he's been the guy that's been running. So when they do run, which is very little, and let's be honest, can you really run against Tampa's front line? No. You need someone that can throw the ball. So I think this is the game. If anyone's going to challenge Tampa and challenge a score and challenge that secondary and go touchdown for touchdown, it's going to be this team.
What did you think about the Rams this week?
I mean, weren't you the one that said who have they beaten?
I know they but that's the same thing with Buffalo. I think the only team they beat good there was the Chiefs. And the NFC West, everyone said it was going to be like this crazy gauntlet, but if you look at their schedules, they can play a bunch of cupcakes.
So here's my deal with the Rams. They're starting to figure out where Odell fits into this puzzle, right? They're starting to put the puzzle pieces together with him. There's going to be, Arizona can't win every game. So, yes, if a divisional game, if it's going to come down to it, am I on your side with the Rams? I really want to be. I really want to be on the dog. Especially in a primetime game, I always want to be on the divisional dog. I somewhat just stay away from it. But
it's going to be a tough game. I'll give you one thing that I'm thinking. I'm a little bit nervous about the rhythm of the Arizona offense, and I've been saying this for a few weeks. It was cool with them winning games with Colt McCoy and stuff. You got to give them credit to that.
Yeah, and their defense. Stellar.
Yeah. And you got to think eventually Rams are going to start running the ball. And I don't want anyone to take anything away from the Jacksonville game by any means.
Yeah.
I just think the Rams are going to run the ball. And this kind of comes back to what you guys were saying the Packers week with the Rams front. I worry about the Arizona offensive line. They've held up better than I thought they would, but I know I just don't know if they're going to hold up. And then if Arizona gets one-dimensional, eventually this Rams defense line has to take over a game. It has to happen, but it might not. But it has to happen because we know Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury, they like a lot of quick passes. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I really like the Rams. I think the Rams are finally going to do something. But it's hard to bet them.
I went with you on it. I don't like it, but I don't have to like it. I have to trust you. So I appreciate it. I do have to trust you. You're the expert, right? So, I went on it. I was having convulsions when I did it, but I did do it. So, I needed a Xanax while I did it. So, but I did it. I'm on Cleveland this week. I'm probably the only one there. The
fundamentals for Cleveland make complete sense. Just is Baker Mayfield going to come in and play? Can he even play below average football at this point? If he does,
can Lamar?
This Ravens offense looks sloppy, no doubt. It's a good question.
Right?
I don't know.
So here's the thing: the last game Cleveland played was against Baltimore, right? They had their bye. They played Baltimore 16-10 or something like that. Had their bye, and now they're playing Baltimore again. So, and Baltimore just went through. Baltimore just went through this brutal game where they got disturbed by Pittsburgh, who's not good. And Baltimore's not impressive. And Cleveland's got their two-headed running backs back. They're going to be able to run the ball. Baltimore has been the most banged up, hurt team since the start of the season. And it shows. And it's showing more and more every single week how banged up that team is. They've got Devontae Freeman, for crying out loud. I mean, and Le'Veon Bell, and Latavius Murray, everybody's dropouts. They got everybody's cuts that they're making moves, and they're not doing half bad with it, but it's not going to be a successful playoff team. I just don't think.
They have to choose one of their running backs because that's one of the problem. I would go Latavius Murray. I think he's the best.
Yeah,
most consistent.
He is the best one. And I always say
more power based.
And one thing I always say is if you have 4 running backs, you have none.
At this point, yeah, because that means all the guys are average and interchangeable. I think the only one who adds anything is Latavius Murray.
I agree. And Lamar, just his whole game, situational decisions, making, not making adjustments, not making any adjustments. He's making the same mistake multiple times in every game. I don't know if that's a coaching problem or a Lamar stubborn problem. I don't know what it is, but it's clearly not working. So I'm very much on Cleveland. I think that this is a get right game for them. They're getting healthy, whereas they were pretty banged up for a while too. But I think they're getting healthy. I think they got their weapons back. I think they have their two-headed monster. I think Baker's supposed to be better than he was. Whatever is wrong with him too. But I just think they're going to have they've at least got a two-headed running game where Baltimore has none. And in this game, you need defense, run games. And I think Baltimore is severely on a decline. And I don't,
Yeah. What do you think about that Dallas-Washington game?
So I'm on Washington. I am. I'm on Washington. I think there's some teams in this league that are fake good.
Dallas is a good example.
Someone
said a stat. Sorry to cut you off. Someone set a stat on Instagram. It's like the autism weather guy. He set a stat from our conversation. We're 2 on games we've agreed on this year.
He said what?
So maybe that's a good omen for Washington.
He said what?
He said where he took up all our conversations. This is the guy who has autism about weather. I don't remember his name.
Mine and your conversations?
Yeah, like on the live call-in show. And so he said he did a record of all the games we agreed on, and it's like 12-2, 12-3. But I'm on Washington too. You could, but go on.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. That the games that me and you agreed on, that's pretty crazy. Yes. So I'm on Washington. I'm on. Again, there's some teams that are fake good, and I think Dallas is fake good. I think that they've got playmakers and they have an all-star, team potentially, but I think they have not a all-star coach, and their running situation, lack thereof. I don't know if it's Zeke himself or the game planning that they're doing. Here's my thing. So they played the Saints and they won 27-20 or whatever it was.
And they didn't
right?
look good. They should have lost the game if the Saints had a quarterback who could throw.
Saints looked terrible. Okay? Looked terrible. All right? They were with Taysom Hill with a busted finger, no Alvin Kamara. Okay? No wide receivers that are reputable. All right? And I had both Zeke and Dak on a fantasy. Dak got me 11 points. Zeke got me 6. This team scored 27 points, and their number one running back and their quarterback collectively scored 17 points. So their defense, obviously, had a pick 6 or whatever it was, because they should have been able to dominate on the Saints, and they should have been able to dominate on Denver. Okay. And they should have been able to dominate on a lot of other teams that they're getting, the Raiders. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think, you got a Washington team that's getting hot at the right time. They're getting hot, good at the right time. Everyone said they were going to go, they lost. There was a lot of people that lost stock in Washington when Chase Young went down. Sometimes when your best player goes down, your team plays up.
And the defensive line's playing way better without Chase Young. That's the thing. They started just playing good once he got out, which is crazy.
Because they're not relying on him to do everything anymore. They're all picking up the load. That's the thing, So sometimes when your best playmaker goes out, the rest of the team plays up and plays harder. And that team is playing hard. And Taylor Heineke, say what you want about him, but he can manage and he's athletic in ways. And he's making
the locker
plays
room's behind him.
Yeah,
that's the crazy thing. I don't know how we got the locker room behind him, but they're behind him. And say what you
they
will.
are. They are. The locker room's behind him, and that team is hungry. That team's got a coach that just survived cancer, and they have a lot to play for. So everyone just handed Dallas this division, and Washington's like, no. Like, just, slow your roll. And, Dak has got Amari, Gallup, the new kid, Lamb, Schultz, 75 targets. He's got people to target over there. And somehow, some way, there's just penalty after penalty after, drop this and drop that. And I don't see, for them to score 27 points, and I think 10 of them came from the offense. I'm not in on Dallas against Washington.
No, and the thing you said to lead off is really what tilted it in the no name's favor for me, because remember when Dallas started this year, they had a really good run pass balance, and that's disappeared. And then this Washington defensive line rotation, they come at you in waves and they stay fresh because they got 7-8 guys who can actually play at a decent level. Dallas's offensive line, I know, judging them based on the Saints pass rush probably isn't fair, but they were even getting beat up by Denver's pass rush. They got beat up by Oakland's, and it's
and that's just it. You know what I mean? I think that Washington is kind of like the Cinderella story of the NFC. They don't even have a name. Let's start with that. Okay, they don't even have a name.
They should take the nominee.
I think we should submit that, and you could probably get a lot of royalty for that. So
yeah, I should copyright.
You should. They don't even have a name. They have a coach that just beat cancer. They have their quarterback went out week 1. So let's just go down the list, right? I mean, they are the Cinderella story of the NFC, and definitely the NFC East. But I definitely think they're the Cinderella story of the NFC. Don't be surprised when you see that team in the playoffs. So
Go on. Finish your statement. My bad.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm just saying there's a lot of, there's a lot of things to be said when a team has nothing to lose and everything to gain. And Washington is that team.
last question. Michael Mann was curious. Who you taking in the Panthers Falcons game? Or do you even got to read, or you just staying away?
Like if I've got to pick, I'm sorry, Michael. I'm very, very sorry. But I've got to go Atlanta here. Only because they're the dog in a divisional game. I don't know. Cam Newton came back and I'm back and I scored a touchdown and I scored another touchdown and I'm back. And then what? He got benched or something? I don't even know what happened.
He got a little bit nostalgic. And then and then what happened against Miami? Panthers really should be winning games like Miami.
I just don't get it. I don't get it. I think that team without McCaffrey, just whether it's they fall apart or they don't have a game plan without him. Because as soon as they lose him, it's like it's like you throw somebody from Podunk, Mississippi in the middle of Times Square and expect them to find their way home.
Yeah, and there's no plan, and then with Atlanta, I feel like their offense is playing better than Carolina's offense, and I think that's a factor. Probably going to be a really sloppy game though. So I
would prefer to not even play it, but I mean, if I'm going to go aside, I'm going to take a small divisional points, just because for a team that's healthier, granted, I think. I'm still waiting to see some extravaganza out of Kyle Pitts. I mean, I don't know. I don't think he deserved to be in the third round draft of anybody's fantasy this year. But someday he will be. It's just, I feel like they just don't have it. When McCaffrey goes down, that team doesn't have plan B. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Every team, look at Washington. We can revert right back to Washington. Their quarterback went out week 1. They're on their backup still, right? They lost. Logan Thomas went out week 3 or 4, whatever it was. He just came back, and he might be out again. They're, number 1. He was number 1 for targets next to, McLaren. He goes out.
He's playing really good.
Yeah, and McKissick goes out. These teams have to have a plan B. Carolina has no plan B. Their plan B was go get Cam Newton out of retirement. Or not retirement, but out of, the picket line, or whatever you want. Whatever you want.
It was starting to look like retirement. It really was.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Their plan B was we got to go get Cam Newton. Bring him back after we cut him loose, okay? Because we had Kyle whoever for a little while. And that was their backup plan. You got to be better than that in the NFL, in my opinion. At least Atlanta has stuck with Matt Ryan, and
Matt Ryan's probably the difference in this game. That's
that's it. And Matt Ryan still he's still, he has what it takes to throw the ball down the field. He has what it takes to manage things. It's just that team can't be like they always were before, giving up leads. They remind me of Minnesota, where they could be up 29-0 and don't even cash that check. Not with that team. Minnesota and Atlanta, they're like twins. I mean, I don't know. I was going to tell you, I'm probably a loner here too. I'm on the Giants. As stinky as that sounds.
Oh no, I like the Giants with the points, but now it worked back down to +9. What did you get it
at 10.5?
And that's a lot. Yeah, it worked. Yeah, I got all the way down to it's at 9 now. So, I mean, people are I get it. It's just I completely get it. Yeah.
As gross as it sounds.
Tell us why the Giants are going to cover. Then we'll end the show on that. We'll end it on a low note talking about the Giants.
I'm a little concerned that we agree so much. But your guy said, though, that when we agree, things go well. I think the only one, 12-3, that's pretty good record when we agree. The only one that we seem to butt heads about is Tampa and Buffalo. And, you know, I'm not a Tampa Bay hater. You know what I mean? Like, I know he's amazing and he's kept amazing care of himself and he's phenomenal shape and yada, 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 yada. But I just think that there's holes that he can. I think Allen can catch that team. Last year, the Saints played Tampa in Tampa, 38-3. Nobody saw that coming. I'm not going to say this is the case, but I'm telling you that team has potential to be exploited, and that team has a lot of letdown capabilities against a good quarterback.
Well, yeah, it makes sense. We'll see what Tampa Bay we see. It just comes down to how they come out.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And I think I like the fact that we agree on a lot of things, but I'm sure when Buffalo's losing 30-10 at halftime, I'll hear from you. Because
well, I mean, dude, like things. Yeah, like I just like troll. I don't like do it seriously because honestly, as someone who has to bet all these games and everything's public record, this shit's hot. Mm-hmm. So
Can I ask you one question before we head out of here? Because I don't know what to make of my life right now, and I have to pick one of these teams as part of something that we're doing. This 49ers Cincinnati crap. I feel like I'm getting a concussion every time I think about what we're supposed to do. I don't know. I don't really know.
I'm just going San Fran.
Really?
But I think people exaggerated how bad the Bengals played last week because I watched that whole game, unfortunately. I think people are exaggerating. There was unforced errors from the Bengals. And then also like 6 sacks from the Chargers. Are we going to see that every week? But I'm going to San Fran.
Do you think does anybody know what Burrow's injury situation is?
Yeah, it's a fractured pinky, and I noticed it on the 3rd drive. They said he did it maybe on the 2nd, but it was changing the way the ball went out. So they're not protecting him. So
now we got problems with San Fran's side too.
Yeah, there's a ton. I did a whole video on it. So.
Oh, you did? I guess I'll have to go back and watch it because I think Elijah Mitchell's out, and I don't know if Debo's playing, but we saw Kittle become Godzilla last week. So
yeah, Debo should be playing, and I guess Elijah Mitchell was ruled out late Saturday night. So.
Yeah, he's out. I saw that today. So I guess I'll roll with you. I don't like it, but I'll roll with you. But I have to pick one. I don't really want to, but I don't have a choice. So. All right. Well, I appreciate y'all bringing me on again. It's always fun in here. Sorry I couldn't see you guys.
Yeah. We'll fix the camera next time.
All right. We'll do our prop video soon too.
Yeah. Sure. When you said you were trying to figure out life, I thought you were thinking about coming to Brazil too. But at least it's just about.
So wait a second. Is Michael Mann in Pensacola? I heard him say something about Pensacola.
But he drove to Pensacola last week.
Is he stalking me?
I don't know. I don't have to visit Pensacola. Like, it's a nice place. I like it. Don't get me wrong. But
we have the emerald green beaches. We have the 3rd nicest beach. Like, it's like the second nicest beach in the country after Hawaii.
I'll have to visit.
Check it out.
All right, Lauren, I'll see you. Have a good night.
All right, y'all have a go Saints.
Let's
see y'all later.
Thank you. Hit the like button, subscribe, share the videos. Let's get this money. Share the videos. That's the way to thank me. Appreciate it.